when a 16-year-old boy who's lost his father and doesn't have an education starts a business on Daraz and creates a success story where he can support his family and pay for his education. This is what it's all about. That's what I really care about.
Sometimes people don't understand that outside of this organization, that it's all being built by Pakistanis for Pakistanis, and they're young Pakistanis that are doing this, which I think is super cool.
That kind of magnitude is not something that you achieve overnight. It takes years and years of hard work.
We are building the biggest e-commerce company in Pakistan, and not only us but our families are really proud of what we are doing here.
I came here first in 2015, and at that time there was really very little or almost no concept of e-commerce at all in Pakistan.
Today in Pakistan we have 9 warehouses spanning over 500,000 square feet. We have 88 facilities which are touch points for sellers and customers. We have almost 100,000 sellers that have benefited from our platform in the last year. We have millions, over 27 million users that are visiting our platform. And those are big numbers.
And now we have an e-commerce marketplace business, we have our logistics business, we have a payments infrastructure business where we basically can reach almost everybody in Pakistan with a smartphone for digital payments.
It's when you actually look at your technology and when you look at our operations, that gives you that feeling that we are just so big.
So this year, for example, we invested in smart distribution centers because our logistics business was just getting too big to manage with manual processing of packages and orders. So now we have state-of-the-art facilities that sort all the packages, and we can do up to 1 million packages per day, which is very cool.
We need to think at those levels. We need to think in the millions of packages because that is a reality of what our customers now demand.
And when you just go and look at that warehouse, it's just so huge that makes you feel that Daraz is not a small e-commerce player. Daraz is not only just the biggest e-commerce player, Daraz in itself is doing so much now.
I think it's always very fun when we also look internally, and I think sometimes we also don't realize how big we've become.
Daraz is becoming a big business, right? We have a lot of people and we have a lot of processes, and staying agile as you grow is very, very important.
The pace is incomparable to anything in Pakistan. And it's very hard to put it in words.
Because we're not in the business of just managing, we're in the business of building, right? And that needs to be the foundation for the next 5-10 years, right? Before we go into any kind of just management state.
Sometimes I go to our LinkedIn and I'm always surprised at how many people we're hiring. And I think I think it's a very big blessing. And I mean this genuinely, I think it's a very big blessing from God that we're in an organization that is continuing to grow, that we're hiring when a lot of organizations are struggling.
I think all of these things make you feel that you're in the right place, and you're not only in the right place, you're actually in the right industry as well, because there is a revolution going on, and if you're not a part of this revolution, you'll honestly after a few years feel that you're missing out.
Today Daraz is the 4th largest platform after Facebook, Google, and TikTok. It has, like I said, over 27 million people that are on our platform. That's a lot of eyeballs.
Which is something great, but also remember, Facebook, Google, and TikTok, they don't operate, right? We have the digital platform and the knowledge on the users, but we also know how the goods are flowing around the country and how the logistics work and the economics of that, right? Where are the products actually going and how they're flowing between customers and sellers.
At the end of the day, the one thing that we own is the data we have. And that's a gold mine, right?
You need to invest in data. चाहे वो जिस लेवल का भी है, जिस डायमेंशन का भी है, you cannot force yourself into a situation where you are in a dark room with lights on, with black putty on your eye, and you're finding a black cat.
If we have a call, I think 80% of that call will be focused on data and us making actionable insights out of data.
We can tell कि someone who lives in MR, at what point in time that person makes a purchase and what are the decision-making factors on the basis of which he actually makes a purchase, as opposed to someone who is living in another area of a certain city or across Pakistan.
So if we take all that knowledge, we have absolutely the best opportunity to price data and come up with good solutions and figure out who should we lend to, right? Not just lend to anybody, but really figure out who are the good sellers that we should design solutions for, and the same for good customers.
पहले एक मुझे याद है बोर्ड रूम्स में डिसीजन मेकिंग ऐसी होती थी कि हाँ यार मेरी फूफी ये इस्तेमाल करती हैं और उनका ये थॉट है तो यही होता होगा, या मेरे कज़न या मेरे दोस्त ने ये किया, अगर 5 लोगों ने एक इंसाइट दे दी तो उस पर ऐड बन जाया करते थे. लेकिन अभी तो जो है यहाँ पे you need to be very data centric.
I don't want to brag, but I really think we have the best online marketing in the country. You know, and it's something that, you know, people from our online marketing have gone to some of the leading organizations in the world.
ऑनलाइन के अंदर अपनी वेबसाइट बनाना कोई भी बना सकता है, लेकिन टेक के अंदर ट्रैफिक एट स्केल इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कि क्या आप ट्रैफिक लेकर आ सकते हैं अपनी वेबसाइट पे, बट दराज वो जो टेक, जो मार्केटिंग और देता है, उससे जो सेलर्स जिस तरह अपलिफ्ट हो रहे हैं, आई थिंक दैट इज़ समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट कीप्स मी गोइंग.
We have almost 100,000 active sellers on the platform now, and without them, you know, there would be no Daraz.
We are here to create entrepreneurs, and that's the power that Daraz has.
You get a kick out of putting some sort of value into the country. Or for us, this is that kick. कि यार आप किसी को कैसे एम्पावर कर रहे हैं. एक 18 साल का एक सेलर है हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे, जिसके लास्ट महीने की जो इनकम, नॉट सेल्स, इनकम वो 4.5 लाख रुपए. नाउ आप कभी सोच सकते हैं कि नॉट फ्रॉम द टॉप सिटीज़ एक 18 साल का बंदा एक एंटरप्रेन्योर बन सकता है दराज पे.
The best thing about e-commerce, I would say, is that it's fair, right? It's a fantastic equalizer where no matter if you're a man or a woman, if you live in the big cities or in the rural areas, if you have an education or not, everybody has the same opportunity.
Now imagine 10 years ago, if there was a female in some rural area, Mia Channu or some other place like that. 10 years ago, it would not have been possible for that female to do a business online, even offline as well, right? And then be able to support her family. Today, that is possible, right? And that is the revolution that I'm talking about.
We can see the lives that we're impacting when we meet sellers that are able to operate out of their households, that are young. We give them a platform where they can work hard in an ethical and honest way and really build something.
So we did these seller summits right before 11/11, where we went across Pakistan, we met our sellers, we organized these events. So there was one seller over there, her name was Kurotalain Hassan. A few years ago, she was diagnosed with brain tumor, and she did not have the financial means to, pay for her medical treatment. And the only option she had was, she could not go for a full-time job elsewhere, so she can, be financially stable enough to pay for it. She made a store on Daraz. It only takes 5 minutes to make a store on Daraz. She listed her products. She deals in fashion products. Initially, it was a bit slow, but that seller right now is making over $1 million rupees on Daraz, and that's a massive achievement, right?
It's a business. लोग इंतकाल कर जाते हैं तो अपनी प्रॉपर्टी दे के जाते हैं और वो बच्चों में तकसीम होती है. अब इमेजिन करें कि स्टोर की वैल्यू, क्योंकि वो भी तो एक ब्रांड बन रहा है ना, वो एक लेवल पे एक कंटिन्यूस इनकम कमा रही है. सो दिस इज़ बिकमिंग अ ख़ानदानी एसेट फॉर अ फैमिली. सो यू देन काइंड ऑफ गेट रियली excited by building something which is empowering and then creating jobs also. meanwhile एक बंदे को जब बहुत सारे ऑर्डर्स गिरते हैं तो वो खुद सारे पैक नहीं करता, फिर वो 2 लोग रखता है उसको पैक करने के लिए, भले 25-30 हज़ार रुपये पे रखे. और फिर वो जब हमारे पास आते हैं तो हम ज़्यादा अपने हीरोज़, हमारे राइडर्स जो हैं वो हम ज़्यादा हायर करते हैं. तो इट्स अ ज़बरदस्त साइकिल दैट इफ़ इट गेट्स बूस्टेड, it will create a world in itself of high economic activity, and that just keeps you very excited and keep going in your day life.
What I've really learned is to take nothing for granted, right? That we need to always be humble. We need to always innovate, and we need to always work super hard to raise the standards and move forward.
We are humble to the problem we have, and we realize that we are really what we are addressing. And when we say uplifting communities through the power of commerce, we have to be humble when we address that problem.
Everybody in Daraz is very proud of the business that we have today compared to the business that we had 2 years ago. But it's also a fact that what we're doing today is also not going to be good enough in 2 years.
When you say, okay, this is how things are done, then you need to be very careful in tech by saying that.
Some industries, they seem more stable and established than others, but anyone can be disrupted if you're not on your toes. Despite all the challenges that that Pakistan has as a country, and I know a lot of people are going through a very difficult time right now, the reason why I'm very optimistic about the future for at least the digital economy in Pakistan is that I see this ecosystem. I see how it's matured over time. And it's really only, I would say, in the last 6 to 12 months that I've seen every single part of this ecosystem maturing and getting ready for the next phase of growth. There's plenty of great opportunities in the future in Pakistan. Like we're big believers that we've only started this journey, and we're not on this journey alone. It's about building this ecosystem for everybody.
You may not come across them, and so you get demotivated outside of this office. But what I can commit and really say is that the people that we have in this office inspire me, because they are really the best in the world. And to me, this should be a message that others get, is that our talent pool is phenomenal, and I'm very excited, to be honest, in what comes out of Pakistan in the coming years, and I'm very excited about what comes out of Daraz in the coming years, inshallah.